Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast all about craft beer and video games. It's episode 386. I'm having to drive the ship, and I have to confess, I fell asleep because, well, it's been a busy couple months, and I'm 40 now, and it turns out that means if you lie in bed to idly mark/read at 7 p.m., when 8:45 comes around, turns out you might not be conscious. But I am joined by the ever patient Lucy.
Oh, it's fine because I, you know, maybe I'm on the good side of 35, but that won't be for long. So,
When you say good, you mean the side
the,
everyone wants to be on. Let's be honest.
well, the side where your knees are still okay-ish.
I don't remember last time my knees were good. I think it was well before 35.
Wouldn't say they're good, but they're doing a job. They're doing a
Oh,
job.
I mean a job.
Probably not the best of jobs, but they're a job. They're
Yeah.
doing a C plus
Oh,
job.
what is going on with? Sorry, my
Oh,
There we go. Okay, well,
yes.
speaking of C plus jobs, let's hope our beers aren't that. What do you got to drink today?
I hope I've got a A plus beer in a beer. I picked this up. I know, can art and stuff like that shouldn't always go for a beer just because that's pretty can art, but
Hmm.
this is pretty. It's like
Oh, it's quite. It's a sunset,
it's a
like in
sunset in like a
mountains.
dale valley, yeah, mountains.
It reminds me
Very
of Ben's.
pretty.
Actually, it's a pity Ben's not here because he could put his arm up because his like mountain tattoo that's on his arm.
Mm.
It doesn't quite have the like the. It's very similar to the top half or the top chunk worth the
Nice.
mountains, but maybe less daily.
Mm. And the
Who makes
flange.
this beautiful tin?
This is from Track. Took me ages to find out who it was, but it's like, yeah, it's clearly on the side there. But this is called
Hmm?
Manchester Fresh Hop Golden Ale 23. It's got First Gold, Fuggles, and Magnum. It's 5%. A little bit of flavour text. Brewed with First Gold, Fuggles, and Magnum. Hops grown within Manchester and donated by Manchester Hop Project. So yeah,
Uh oh.
classic, classic English hops in a beer from Manchester.
Weird. My internet just
Uh,
died. I missed a bit of that, but hopefully we'll get that on the recording.
it's a beer.
Brewed with.
It's a golden ale.
Yeah, there we go.
It, yeah.
Drag.
First Gold, Fuggles, and Magnum.
Hmm.
That's what it's brewed with. Yeah. So yeah, like not many golden ales around.
I'm just gonna say I
So I
can't
was
remember
like,
the last
yeah.
time I had one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'll be happy to have that on the podcast.
yeah, sounds great. I've got. Speaking of lovely can art,
Ah,
I've
that's a
got the
tongue.
Chur Bro New Zealand IPA from Off Axis Brewing with
Oh, is that
this
like
very
when you do the hacker and you stick your tongue out?
yeah. It is
That's
a
what
New
I
Zealand
do.
IPA. It's island vibes abound in the chill New Zealand Pale Ale, utilizing the best hops found in the south of the island to serve up juicy flavors that deliver a cool, satisfying experience from a unique part of the world. The hops are Pacific Jade, Motueka, Rakau, and Wakatu. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that one.
Lakitu,
Wakatu, yeah.
the Super Mario Bros.
Yeah,
character.
I mean Wakatu, Wakatu.
Hmm. I like him
And yeah,
Smash
so
Bros.
if you don't, and so it's 6.2% IPA.
Very nice.
Yeah, Off Access. I haven't had a lot from Off Access. They're
I I was gonna ask you again who the brew was because I don't know if I've ever come across
this.
them.
Yeah, this was one of the beers, birthday beers. So, and my former housemate Scruff, who's Kiwi, bought this and a couple others
Mm.
precisely because this one said it was the New Zealand IPA. And this says brewed and canned under contract in the UK exclusively for TJM Limited, Liverpool, and Belfast by Off Access Brew. A Liverpool address, a Belfast address. under contract in the UK by Off Axis, but it's for Off Axis.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're. I don't know if they've got another country in which Off Axis exists. Didn't.
Couldn't tell you. They're somewhere off the axis.
Oh, actually, I should not change. I was gonna try and check my browser, but I think that makes us both go gray because Discord has changed the way they render things.
Yeah.
And I am hosting, so I can't do that. Otherwise, people will see.
My beer looks like a pretty traditional golden ale.
Oh yeah.
It's it's got poured with quite a lively head, so just letting that go down. But yeah, very frothy, white head. Lots of carbonation in the glass. Yeah, I'd say in the nicest way, it looks like pea coloured.
Oh, I see what you mean. If your pee is that dark though, drink more water.
Yeah, I think you're in the middle. I think you're doing okay.
Yeah.
This is a late night one where it's like probably hadn't taken on a lot of water, but not doing too bad. You're not completely dehydrated, but anyway, yeah, it's just dark. Well, it's a few shades darker than straw. Smell wise, yeah, definitely getting like bready maltiness on the nose. Yeah, just traditional kind of ale smell.
Nice.
Oh yeah. That is a pubby, old man pubby kind of drink. It's not got that much carbonation taste in it in the body. Which, if you're getting something on cask, you wouldn't expect a load of carbonation. But I think it would help here because it would just crisp it up, It's got definitely getting that. It's definitely malt forward. Definitely getting a lot of malt on the taste, and it's very bitter, which I like. But yeah, it's very bitter, but it doesn't have that sometimes kind of like harshness on the finish that some not great traditional cask ales have. Like where it's almost like, has this beer been treated well?
Right.
Or is it like it's an interesting one from Trap because they do very like flavorful IPAs, and I think I've got some of their birthday beers downstairs which are like double IPAs that are probably packed full with different kinds of what you'd call, probably not anymore, but like exotic hops. So This is like complete swing in another direction that I'm not used to from Track, but it's okay. I think I'd probably want a bit more, I don't know, like when I think of a golden ale, I think of maybe a little bit more body than this has. And maybe a little bit more of a rounded finish. This, whilst, it's doing all the traditional things, like it's very bitter, very malt forward. It just feels like there's something missing. That would distinguish it from, like, I don't know, maybe even a lager, rather than a golden ale.
Right.
But, it's alright. Probably not one I'd choose again from Track, but the can art was nice. Give them that.
I guess there's always that.
Yeah. How about you? Have you cracked yours open?
Yeah, it poured with a bit of a frothy head, so I haven't topped it up, but it dissipated quite a lot. Immediately got a lovely whiff on the pour. There's like a smooth sweetness that I can't quite place, but again, very juicy, citrusy. slightly tropical. Not a lot of bitter notes on the nose, like no like pininess or anything, but
Mm.
yeah, it's really interesting. I've not smelt a beer quite with this aroma before. Slightly perfumey, I guess, is where I think the sweetness is that I'm trying to describe is.
Mm.
Not in a bad way, just like a light. Maybe I guess it's slightly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a floral. So it's like a
yes. Okay.
citrus flower, more than just a citrus fruit. I think maybe is what I'm going
Mm-hmm.
for. Hmm. Oh.
Mm.
Hmm. Sorry, it tastes quite light for a bit, and then those
Mm-hmm.
hops kick in, and again a bit of a floral, perfumey taste even on the tongue near the finish. Kind of like but like also mandarin. Uh,
Mm.
like the sweeter part of a mandarin. Hmm. Okay, on another second sip, I'm getting a little more of the bittering notes, which is good because I was getting a bit confused. It was
Yeah.
for an IPA, not quite as beery as I was hoping for on the first taste, but
Mm.
yeah, it's a bit sweet. It's not quite sickly. Yeah, again, I want to say something like floral, perfumey sweet. My palate's not wanting right now, but it's a really
Mm.
interesting beer.
So it's like the complete opposite of mine.
Mm.
Whereas mine's just very bitter. It's like still got a bitter taste in my mouth. Whereas
Oh yeah,
yours.
I mean maybe that's why I'm
So.
feeling a little more disappointed because I heard your description and it's like, what if very little bitter?
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Especially for an
Yeah. If
IPA.
I had
This, hmm?
either, I think if I had either or, I think I'd want
The other one.
bitter over sweet. You know.
Yeah, so it's not
If it
like
had to be
sickly
one or the
sweet.
other.
It's just missing those
Mhm.
bittering notes. I think is the
Mm.
problem. Um,
Which, as you say, it makes it. That's what makes it taste like a beer, not just
yeah,
fruit juice. Mm.
it's just a little. How do I describe this? Let me have another sip and then maybe. Yeah, it's not beery, but it's quite light. I think. I mean, I'm not sure what IPAs are made in New Zealand, but this feels a lot paler. I think because it doesn't quite have that oomph behind the bitter.
Mm.
Um, it's not bad. I think I'm just wasn't expecting it to be that light. Just because of the variety it's claiming to be,
Mm.
isn't doing itself any favors by being that different. Not that different's bad, but you know what I mean. It's just surprising. Um, hmm. I'm gonna I think this might be one of the ones where you sit with it in your palate and you get used
Mhm.
to it and might have more nuance to
Yeah.
it. So I think I'll leave my beer thoughts there for now.
Yeah.
I know you've played at least one game, and I have played the game of work.
The game of life.
Mm.
The all-encompassing game of life.
Yeah, I'm realizing
Mm.
that closest thing I can get to is I had an occupational health meeting today, and I can
Mhm.
probably justify getting a tablet to mark logic because the students all submit. It's essentially a math class, right? And the
Mhm.
students submit to a system by like taking pictures of their handwritten work and then uploading it to a thing where they say question one, these pictures, question two,
Mhm.
these pictures. But I have to mark using a mouse and keyboard, and I can't. You know, just I
Yeah.
want to just write, and so I think I might be able to get a tablet out of the university, and that is a thing you can play games on.
I like that. You going in the direction of not just anecdote about work. It's like no, this is something I can play with my
No,
kids.
I mean this really sincerely. I think that's the closest to playing a game I've got all week.
Oh, that's funny.
It'll be okay. It's just been
Mm,
you know how it goes. One of those weeks.
mm. It's it's funny, isn't it? How technology changes. How
Oh,
I remember handing in paper
so
at
here's a
university.
weird thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the one class
Mm,
where people sometimes Durham is a university of which generally the students who come here are of a certain background, and that means that
middle class.
mm, Yeah.
I mean, it's a very prestigious university,
Yeah.
Durham, you know.
And so what that means, though, it's really weird. So I was talking to a colleague of mine today, and I just like it was really strange because obviously I teach. I'm teaching modal logic, which is it's a maths course essentially. Especially right now, I'm doing
Mhm.
all the hard math stuff first, and then doing the applications and interesting philosophy stuff a bit in the second
Mhm.
term. But that means I use the white. I teach on the whiteboard. I don't have slides and whatever, and so I have a whiteboard in my office. And so for during office hours, of which today I had 2 hours of instead of an hour and a half because I had a queue. Yep,
Mm.
I'm the prof who has a queue at the office hours. So either I'm doing something incredibly right or incredibly wrong, or
I'd
both.
say that's a good sign.
But
I'd say
I have a
definitely.
whiteboard in my office so I can explain things. But
Mhm.
my students of the past nine, so over the two sets of office hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had about 9 students in the 3.5 ish hours of that time.
Mhm.
Two of them used a pen and paper to
Mhm.
write their notes. The rest used a Remarkable or an iPad and pen or some other tablet, and it was just like that realization just really threw me off. And then my colleague was like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, I mean, I teach an essay course, and I want them to write questions at the end of class and give them to me so I can answer them
Mhm.
at the end and or at the next session or whatever. It's a pedagogical tool." She brings pens and paper to
Mhm.
class to facilitate this thing because otherwise they wouldn't be able to write her a note because
Yeah.
having a
That,
pen is not a requisite part of coming to class anymore. You can't
that's
expect it.
crazy.
You can't expect them
Yeah.
to have a pen.
I mean, I didn't go to lectures without a pen because it was just basically a nap in between. you know, you're doing staying at the pub, but yeah, like
Oh, I just didn't
that's
go if that was the
insane.
case, right?
Oh yeah.
I didn't go to
Usually
most
I'd
of my
just
first two
lay in bed.
degrees.
Same. There was one course where they were like, I had to manually,
Hmm.
say I need to take this exam because I didn't even realise I was part of it because I didn't go to a single lecture. But anyway, that's a
Nice.
story for another day. Uh, that's why I'm over here with my lack of knowledge.
That's true.
I'd say.
I
But yeah,
wouldn't say that about you.
that's insane. That's insane.
But yeah, I was like, oh, and I and then I had to acknowledge that my lecture notes are on a Remarkable. That's not true though. So the past two
Mm,
weeks. So if it's stuff that I already wrote up notes for from last year when I taught a very similar version of this
mhm,
course, I use the Remarkable. But a couple other weeks ago, I was just using like a crazy person. So
mhm,
they used to make us for attendance for seminars and lectures. We had a QR code that they printed and gave it to us, and it was a waste of paper. So I
mhm,
kept them all for the year and used that stack. And everyone in my office at the time last year kept them. And so I had the stack of one side uses paper, which is scrap paper, which I still have left over from last year. So my
mhm.
lecture notes are my handwritten notes on the back of those. And I like leaf through them. And I was just thinking, like, this is the kind of person I am. Recycled paper, pen written, like, stuff that will guide me through the thing that the students
Yeah.
couldn't pick up and then use because it's notes from
Mhm.
my brain that will translate to the notes on the whiteboard, and then they're all like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but I just do this thing and probably OCR it or whatever," right?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I feel it just goes in better when I'm like
Oh,
writing notes. Like, yeah, like I took like all these. Ink is probably not coming up
oh
on
yeah, I can
the
see it now.
thingy,
Yeah,
but okay. But yeah, this is like a full
full notebook.
book worth of notes during my course. I didn't really read many of them, but
Oh, I
in the
mean,
initial learning, I
yeah,
just felt it feels it goes in better if I'm writing something,
that's
not typing, because it's like all of it was like delivered on the computer via Teams or whatever.
mm,
But writing notes on like a Word document or a notepad or literal notepad in Windows or something, it's just I
Yeah,
wouldn't go in that way. You know,
I'm the same
it's
way,
like
and like studies
writing.
have shown that a
Mm.
lot of people aren't. There's something about the act of writing. Although that's
Mhm.
why I got them remarkable, was because
Mhm.
theoretically it means I wouldn't have to carry on sheets of paper. But the problem is, like, if I'm planning a lecture and I'm going through a bunch of documents on my computer,
Mhm.
something about it. If I'm writing it out, I will it pen on paper will just be quicker, and I will be able to like move around it more easily,
Mhm.
flipping through pages versus like for some reasons like one of my fingers like sometimes I swipe and the remarkable doesn't change the page and it doesn't have a next page button. It's all capacitive touch, and so I've
Mhm.
been in the lecture and I'm flipping, but also really it's a often what I want to do is okay, what did I write on the next page? Quickly glance at it, but still kind of
Mhm.
maintain my focus on the page I'm reading off of. Stuff like that. Paper's just going to be useful. But on the
Yeah.
writing it is like a is all I need to do. I realized that in the end of my philosophy degree and I knew that for going into my masters that I don't ever reread my notes. So I learned how to write very small
Mhm.
because it didn't matter, right? And so actually I just found this the other day. This is my 2 year masters, something like 15 to 20 courses.
Is that moleskin?
It's a moleskin, but like
That's what I'm interested in.
but
The
like
type of note.
this is the
Well,
size of
how
the.
small is your writing?
Well, I don't need to reread it, and so I could fit more notes from a class.
I know, but that's still impressive.
But yeah,
Hmm.
but
That looks like the
I was
Unabomber
gonna say, well, the problem is it was
manifesto.
logic notes, so there's like you pick this up and there's just all kinds of diagrams and maths, right?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and so I filled the whole thing up. This is this, like third last
Mhm.
page, right? Like, and the whole degree is in this, and so I like having this notebook, and I've
That's
never
insane.
ever opened it except for that. Like, and I've
Mhm.
although the one problem is now it's been 10 years since that masters. Good lord, I'm old.
Mm.
And now I don't remember all the things in that book. And sure, this isn't going to be a good reference for learning those things. That's the trade off. But also, I don't think my notes were ever going to be written in a way that they would reteach me. But a
But
large
it's
chunk
that
of this stuff
initial
is just in my brain
absorption,
now,
though.
right?
Mm. It's that initial absorption. I feel like
Yeah.
pen and paper. Well, it's like maybe we're just old and we like analog because
Yeah.
we was talking about video games that like Obra Dinn and stuff like that where you can actually get like a notepad and paper out and
Mm.
you know write things down. There's
Information
just
track.
something satisfying about that. So
Yeah. I enjoy your way of getting us back on track.
yeah,
I mean,
games. Yeah, I've only played Call of Duty.
I've played nothing. I've literally told you that I've been busy at work and I've been flummoxed by the idea that pen and paper is now a novelty that you can't expect.
Well, you
Um,
know what? I was thinking today because yeah, I went to play for my nephew today,
mm,
and I gave him my Switch, and he gets so frantic when it's like, okay, time to eat now, and it's like he just wants to play one more level or something. I said, how would you have coped back in my day when it was time to stop playing the video game? You lose all your progress
oh
because there are
god, yeah.
no saves, there are no memory cards. That you know, how would you have coped? You know? It's like it's just
Mm.
such a crazy thing. Time, just the passage of time, and how we can shake our fists at them darn kids who have everything now. But yeah, it just means that all kids now are just gonna be cyborgs. You know, I'm already getting aged out of the workforce.
Oh,
My kid's learning Python at 5, so it's just like, yeah, maybe I can. Maybe I can re-oil the robots in the
I mean,
future.
if you're talking about the robots, they'll be building themselves at some point, right? So we won't. Everyone will be a
Yeah,
reoiler.
maybe I can shine the shoes of the robots. I don't know.
I really like
I'll
this. So
find some.
I mean, I we are in no danger of all the robots for a long time, but I really like how humanity's so obsessed with making robots do the stuff that defines us as humans, that we're like purposely marching towards the time where if we could get there, boy, do we really want to get to the place where humans will just be the robot oilers and shoe shiners. I'm like, well,
Yeah, but
we could not do
I've
that. That's not
accepted
like
it.
there's not like one path of progress that in front of us, and that's the only thing we can do. But it's the
I've
thing we're
accepted
aiming
it.
for.
I've accepted it.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
because
my
humans are
role.
idiots, especially about themselves.
I welcome our robot overlords.
Mm.
They've got to be doing a better job than a lot of humans in power now. But
Oh yeah.
without getting political, should we talk about
Mm.
a very political video game,
Yeah.
Call of Duty?
No, Call of Duty. It's never been a political video game.
Nah,
It's
never.
just these are just historical settings that are interesting. Question mark. Question
Yeah,
mark.
like the map called Afghan. That can't be in a real place, can it? But
And
no, I
although
haven't
don't
played
they
the
have
campaign
like
yet, to be
I was
fair.
like the campaigns aren't they like wasn't there a recent one where like it basically makes Ronald Reagan out as like a huge hero or something? I can't remember.
I mean, probably. There is a lot of rewriting of history in the Call of Duty games. I don't know what this one is about. I haven't played the campaign yet. I will though, because I mean I have a decent enough time with Call of Duty campaigns. They're just like popcorn, It's just like I'll just watch the things explode on screen and just have a nice little sweet treat for a few hours, and just wholly ignore any kind of I don't know semblance of really taking in the narrative, because a lot of it is just very po-faced and ridiculous anyway.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what is the
I-
subtitle of this one? Call of Duty.
Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah. Okay. Is this the first 3? Has there been a 3 before? I can't keep track of
There
these.
has indeed. There was a
Yeah.
modern, because I know a lot of people were review bombing this game. I don't know for what reason.
Oh, really?
But they were
Oh,
like
360.
review bombing the wrong game. They were review bombing the 360 game, yeah.
From 2011.
Yeah, and it's like, at least get the right game.
I
I
mean-
don't know if it was review bombing. I just read an article. I don't know if it was review bombing or there are genuine complaints about this. I have no idea. I feel like the
you
dog
just-
in the meme that says "this is fine." Everything is on fire around me.
Mhm.
I'm just having fun because I have a frame of reference, but I don't have a frame of reference for modern. Just silly because it's in the title,
Yeah.
modern. For modern Call of Duty. So the last one I played in earnest multiplayer may have been the original Modern Warfare 3.
Interesting.
I don't know. So what came after Black Ops? Because that's the one I got really into. Have you got them up there? Call of Duty.
I'm having to do it on my phone so I don't ruin the stream because for some
Oh
reason.
yeah, I'll have a look then. I mean, are you a Call of Duty man?
No. I have a lot of
I don't
them
think
for
you
various
are.
reasons, but I mean, I didn't have friends, so the heyday of Call of Duty was.
I'm just gonna clip that sound, but I didn't have fun.
You're not wrong. The heyday of Call of Duty, it was very much console-based multiplayer, and all my gaming for a long time was just on the PC, and all my multiplayer gaming was basically PC-based. So like Team Fortress took me through a long time. We'll put it that way. And yeah, my friends who played COD were almost always on the consoles, and there wasn't crossplay. And then basically until I played Battlefield 1. Yeah, Battlefield 1 with Ben for that year and a bit, right? I didn't consistently play any console-based shooter multiplayer. Where's the list of...
Yeah, I've got them up.
Oh,
So,
you got it? Okay. So,
So the multiplayer maps from these ones are Modern Warfare 2 original.
which they
Which
already
is,
came out with Modern. Presumably, those maps were on Modern Warfare 2, not original.
I don't know because I didn't play it. That's the problem with even trying to talk from any point of like authority or knowledge. Let me have a look. So yeah, after Modern Warfare 3, so it goes Modern Warfare 2, which everybody loved, Black Ops, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, and then the wheels came off, and then it was Ghosts. Advanced Warfare came out. I liked that one.
Yeah, I remember talking about it.
In 2014. But yeah, in terms of multiplayer, I think the last one I played in earnest, maybe Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I remember talking about Blobs 2.
But maybe not.
Blobs 3, I
a
remember you
lot of
being
it.
disappointed in.
Oh, what an awful game.
And then Lucy review bombed the wrong Black Ops game.
yeah. Yeah. So there's been a lot of Call of Duties. Black Ops 4, what was even that one? Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, I haven't played Call of Duty multiplayer in earnest in, let's say, about 10 years. I've played bits here and there. But yeah, that was probably like maybe 5 games online or something like that. Nothing major. So yeah, this is very much. I wonder why people hate this one.
Oh, I can tell you according to this article on Gamerant.
Okay, perfect. Measured site for criticism, I'm sure.
Many fans saying that it's not worth the asking price because, and asking for a refund on Steam, because relatively short campaign, and they have a problem with the skill-based matchmaking system used.
What's the skill-based match system? Is it?
I'll find a better.
Is it like you're actually matched with people who are good, or not?
Yeah, probably if people are good. Underbaked, rehashed, cobbled together from multiplayer parts. It's also tied to the Call of Duty HQ, which appears to have replaced last year's Modern Warfare 2, which means longer file sizes and wait times.
Yes, I mean that's they really need to figure out how to download things. Just have everything. Not everything has to be part of the same client. Just have a different game for everything. Because you know what? They can figure it out. They figured it out before. These games have been huge for a long time. It's not like, oh, we gotta figure out the networking. It's like you've done it before. You can do it again.
Apparently, the PlayStation 5 version doesn't even have a platinum trophy.
I mean, that's the real reason it should get review bombed. That's just criminal, isn't it? I mean, there have been conflicting reports. The circumstances this game was made under, apparently, or allegedly, this was just meant to be DLC kind of add-on for
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
That's second. The second game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Fucking hate games sometimes.
But the powers that be have made sure this was a standalone product. Which I don't know. So I'm gonna Google what multiplayer maps were in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. Oh, you actually have to have Modern Warfare 2 fully installed, dude. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
So if you didn't own it, it's still installed?
Which I didn't. I didn't own it.
But do you have it now?
I don't know.
So you just have all the debt?
What? You basically have all the
Assets.
yeah, probably all the underlying files for. I'm guessing this is probably a much in fact, not probably, definitely is a much worse thing on PC because you got smaller hard drives a lot of the time. Well, not smaller, but like
Full of other
there's
crap.
things other than things
I was
other
gonna say
than
it's definitely
video
not
games
smaller.
on
It's
there.
definitely more
Yeah,
full.
yeah, and
I have like 17 game clients. Itch and Amazon and
yeah, it's
Uplay
just
and EA
mm,
and Wayhey and GOG and Epic
yeah. I
That's-
I only have Steam now
and
because
Steam.
what are we doing? Yeah,
I weird libraries. I
yeah.
might want to play that weird game I bought in 2005 that may or may not run on any modern PC. Who's to know, Lucy? Me, I'm to know. And the only way I can figure it out is if I have access to it, technically, at the moment of a download. But also, I won't even know what that game is if I can't look at the library at some point.
Yeah. I think, what are we doing?
I had an idea of when I was thinking, can I find a window of time I can consistently stream at? I had the idea of starting it with a random number generator, picking which library. So like 1 through 7 or whatever. So it's like, oh, 6. Okay, now I'm looking at my Epic library, and then a random number generator for the number of games in my Epic library, and then that would be the game I picked. But just the fact that in order to get through all my games, despite that Steam reigns supreme, I would have to go across 7 libraries or whatever. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah,
bad.
not worth it. Not worth it.
No, so instead,
Yeah.
didn't decide to stream at all. Also, a Steam Deck. It's just
It's like,
too much of a pain in the ass to try and figure out how to get those games on the Steam Deck. So I'm never gonna play those games.
it's choice paralysis. Too much choice. Don't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm just looking at. I can't remember which Call of Duty I played. I didn't realize that Modern Warfare 2 came. Well, that makes sense. Literally last year.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, that was one of the complaints is this. I think this game
'cause
had a
it's meant to be
16-month turnaround time, but that's
yeah.
probably because it was a release that was secretly DLC for last year's game.
So which one did I play? Did I play Cold War? Because my friend lent me the disc for one of them.
I think you might have played the first redo, the second go round of Modern Warfare. No?
Oh yeah, 2019.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one I played.
I remember it.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, so yeah, the one after.
It's just so stupid. Like, come on, man. Like, there has to be a better name.
Well,
Like they could have been like, I don't know.
Lucy.
If you want to reboot it, call it Call of Duty Modern Warfare Soap. You know what I mean? Do that, and then you can have.
Why
Soap
do you
2,
need, why
Soap
do you
3.
need to reboot a series called Modern Warfare? You could just have called it Modern Warfare 4. Or
Yeah.
I like how and they're like, but we used Advanced Warfare, so we can't do that again because Advanced Warfare was our pseudo futuristic one, and now how non-futuristic is Modern Warfare 3.2?
I don't keep up with like modern military.
No, I mean, does it
weaponry,
feel
so...
like Titanfall-y, or does it feel like
No,
boots on the ground?
There's no space jumping boots.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's just like what?
It's boots on the ground. But yeah, all the maps are from Modern Warfare 2 from 2009, and that's why it's like, oh yeah, with
Those
there
are
being some
terrible.
very bad maps in there, there are some very good ones. But
Also, like, given how much polish has come on, we've also learned one of the things that happens in a genre over time is you learn not just player movement and mechanic design, but low level and locale design. Why
Yeah.
would you ever want to recreate a level from 2009 when you could make a level with your understanding of levels in 2023?
and that's a little bit of the problem because there are some maps that are absolute ass. They were ass back then. They're ass now.
What's even worse?
Um,
You know it was bad in 2009.
yeah, but on the flip side, there are some maps that were really good then,
Still
and are
good?
still really good now.
I mean,
Like Terminal, the ones that sit in the airport. That is an excellent map.
oh yeah, the one starring
And,
Tom
and
Hanks.
and what I like about those old Call of Duties is that they do have like that little bit of unbalance. You know what I mean? It's like, at a certain point in this, map, in this match, all players are going to converge onto this one choke point, and it's going to be mayhem because as you say, an extra 10, 13, 14, 15 years of learning map design, you're still going back to that, and it's like that had the jankiness in it, and there's a bit of jank to this game. And there are a bit of things where it's like, oh, that could have been polished better, but that looks like I should be able to slip through that, crevice or jump through that window, but it's like not quite big enough or wide enough. It's like there's a bit of jank. There's a little bit of jank, and it's like when I go back and play Black Ops via Black Ops 1 from via backwards compatibility, on the Xbox, and it is just like, oh, some of the lag is there, and it's like, oh, this is hitching up here, and there's a bit of jank to those games. It isn't just complete. I mean, they're very well made games, but it's like there's a little bit of 2010, 2009 jank to these games, and that's what this feels like. And
well, that doesn't necessarily be a bad thing.
that suits me. No, it's like maybe, I don't know. Maybe these shouldn't be the most polished things ever, and there should be a little bit of jank to them. It's fun. It's what makes these games stupid as hell. Especially seeing people run around in like Skeletor.
Wait, there's Skeletor costumes? I thought
there are all these stupid costumes, and I'm like,
wait, there's costumes?
Why does this exist? Yeah, skins.
Were there skins back in the day? When did skins come in? And by that I mean, surely there's a level set in Bristol.
Probably around mid 2010s or something.
Okay, so reasonable mainstay of the series. Again, I never.
Because the Battle Pass things probably only came about after stuff like Fortnite and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was wondering, right? But because Battlefield has never. I mean, it has you can wear a. I think there's some mild you can wear this hat as a medic, but it looks like a hat from someone in World War II, and you're in World War II, versus Skeletor exists on the planet of Eternia and not on Earth. Or does he?
There's a Nicki Minaj.
What?
Skin.
Wait,
and I'm just thinking,
you can be an entire team of Nicki Minaj. Is Minaj?
If one wanted, but when you're in a tan,
but also that's really weird.
Desert, sandy colored map, the bright pink is so obvious. You're just painting a target on your back. I don't get why people do this.
Now I remember. Yeah, so this is one of the things that happened in the very beginning of PUBG, because PUBG was like you get costumes. Right. And then it turns out there were just certain costumes which just in most parts of the map, because there was one map at the time, you would just be virtually invisible. So everyone just angle shot, we're just aiming for that thing, and there was including a ghillie suit, a literal ghillie suit as haha unlockable DLC. It's oh no, but I can use it as a ghillie suit, and no one's gonna see me. It's this is ridiculous. How are you giving a ghillie suit and then a chicken costume or whatever? I'm sure it wasn't that, but chicken dinner is stuck in my head. But yeah, it's you can't.
It's absurd. And I think the copy that I was hooked up with, it's the Vault edition, so I think it unlocks some extra skins and stuff like that. I read through that, and it's I don't actually know what it's saying I'm a grandma when it comes to stuff like that. It's like, what are you trying to communicate to me? What are these things? Because I had to Google, because they're operators, which is the different types of skins basically for your character. You know, there are some unlockable in the game, and some have different finishing moves, which
Wait,
only the
finishing
player
moves?
that you kill will see.
Wait, what? So what?
So
You
you
like
have
hit back, forward, punch, and then you take
no,
your mask off?
no, it's not. It's not Mortal Kombat.
Alright.
I think it's like if you stab somebody in the back, you know, or just melee kill them.
They'll get a weird animation.
Yeah.
But you
You don't
both
see
see
it.
this animation, or do you just stab
No.
them and then they get like a?
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing changes for you. But
Wait,
anyway,
that's yeah. So
yeah,
so
it's basically a teabagging animation.
but you don't
You know,
even get
the
to see
equivalent
yourself
of
doing
one.
it.
No.
What game design is this?
It's.
I mean,
They
I
call
get
them
it because you
salvos as
can't.
well.
If you entered into the animation, you would get shot.
Yeah.
Right, I
Exactly.
get that that's the simplest line, but you realize that this interminable wait time you had of downloading this game was because you had gigs and gigs of animations you could unlock in this
Yes.
game, but also animations you can't unlock in the other game that you would never have seen in the first place.
Yeah, and a bunch of skins. And it was like I saw a weapon and it was like, oh, I'm going through, and it's like there was an option to turn it like silver, bright silver. It's like everyone's gonna see me.
No,
There's
because
nothing
because
tactical
that game
about
doesn't have
this.
ray tracing, so it's not going to reflect. Right? And then that's what the review bombs are about, Lucy. Is the silver gun
Oh,
doesn't ray
yeah,
trace, so it doesn't
I
reflect
see.
things.
Yeah.
And so when you throw a flashbang, it doesn't actually show everyone with the silver gun in reflecting back at you. So you have multiple flashes. Like, oh, there's a silver gun, people, and that's why this
Yeah.
game is shit. It's not realistic enough. The lighting engine needs to be better. Silver gun people should be easy to spot, Lucy. It's a fucking crime. I hate you, Call of Duty. You've ruined my childhood. In my day, we didn't have silver gun skins, so we didn't have to worry about them being bad, but now you're giving me them, and you're not giving them as reflective.
I think I literally saw an article about a Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy costume causing some issues.
Is it
and people
because
want
every
it to
time
be
you shot,
taken
it
out.
said, I am Groot, and you couldn't tell which caliber weapon was being Grooted?
It's probably something as stupid as that.
Sorry, Call of Duty fans, I'm sure a game's fun, but hearing about it
Yeah.
through this one article these two articles I read of people's complaints, and Lucy's being flummoxed by not playing the series for a long time, is giving me quite an interpretation, and I kind of love it.
I know, yeah, like, I genuinely wonder. I don't know why people dislike it. It's Call of Duty.
Oh, I think I think it's basically the last game with different old maps? Question mark.
Here's Lucy's tips on how to engage with Call of Duty. Don't play everyone.
Get some for free if you can.
Yeah, and that's it. Don't play everyone. I mean, this is truly indicative of how they've run out of ideas. Like, they're making a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is a sequel to a reboot of a sequel at the end of the day. And it's like, but Call of Duty is too big to fail. It's like, it doesn't matter that this is crap. It'll still be the best-selling game of the year.
Oh my god, hold on a second. I didn't realize this. So, Modern Warfare 3 carries forward all your Warzone... I thought Warzone... Yeah, wasn't Warzone supposed to be the permanent Call of Duty, so they didn't do any more of this crap?
Well, that's just the Battle Royale, I think.
Oh, I see. So, but your Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 cosmetics get imported to
Mhm.
Modern Warfare 3 because it's secretly all the same game, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
secretly, they make you download them all. But apparently there was a Gaia operator skin which they nicknamed Groot, and it was only part of Season Six's Battle Pass. And it was clearly pay to win because it's literally a tree, so it's the ghillie suit
Mhm.
thing I was saying earlier. It
Oh,
was hard. It was really hard for people to spot. So
I
anyone
see.
who using Gaia was basically had an edge. So they adjusted
Mhm.
it in Modern Warfare 2 to improve visibility, saying you're right. But it turns out because everything got imported in the new game, that Gaia's people are claiming it's even harder to spot in Modern
Ah,
Warfare 3 multiplayer than it was in the original version of it in Modern Warfare 2 because
I
the
see.
big issue with Gaia is that the torso is almost entirely see-through, and its dark color helps it blend in. The torso is almost entirely. Oh, it's like a web of roots.
Mhm.
Wait, so
Mhm.
that means behind. God, who
Yeah,
designs this
it's a bit
stuff?
see-through.
That's obviously can't. There's gotta be. You just have to hire a guy named Stan, right? And Stan looks at all the things and says, "Nope, that's gonna be an edge. That's gonna be competitively an
Yeah.
edge." Like Stan just sees the thing and then he clicks a button and it's that skin at multiple angles with like a white background, a black background,
Mhm.
terminal behind it, terminal
Mhm.
in front of it. I know that doesn't make sense, but Stan just pushes the button, and says, "Yep, I can't see it." Right? Like that. You just need to hire a guy named Stan.
Mhm. Because, but the beauty is, not having Stan to say these are the things you should be doing, and
They do
having
this
that jank.
nonsense.
It's just jank, It's just like there's a bit of jank to this where but I like that. It's like Call of Duty is it's a machine, and it's nice to see a little bit of okay, this isn't a perfect project. There's just something so, as I say, po-faced about Call of Duty, and it's like it's nice to see,
It's still crap.
go back to like early like multiplayer games where it's like there's just stupid stuff happening all the time, like sort of like early Halo or something like that. But it's it's I mean, there's still so much polish to it though. It's like, and I think that's the problem. Like these games are like, blockbuster. You can smell the
The
money pouring
millions,
off like
yeah.
the animations and the graphics and stuff like that.
But
And I think having that element of like, oh, look how shiny and perfect this is. Anything, the smallest thing that goes wrong, people are like, oh well, look at that, And it's like, no, it's a video game. Video games have imperfections, and
and I'm
it
sorry, but if
diff-
you were fighting a war against tree people in a map called Wasteland, guess what? That's probably their home. And they've evolved to be very hard to kill in their home.
yeah,
So guess
the
what?
Ents
Tree
have
people gonna
risen.
fuck you up. I can't
It's
wait till next year
I
where
love the
they finally
ridiculousness.
release a new map and it's like in a building, in like an office building, and then they release the like secret lab chair skin. And then it turns out if you crouch, you just look like one of the chairs in the office. It's like, we had no idea this would happen. People are getting stabbed in the back, and then the person who loses has to watch a 10-minute cutscene of that guy getting rolled over to death by the casters on the chair, because that's the game we've made.
It's such a beautiful mess. It's it's great.
But I mean, if
It's
you
taken
were,
me. Maybe it's nostalgia, and I'm just riding on the high of that.
I
But
think probably, and also
it's reminded. Yeah,
you're in a
yeah.
position where you can play and afford multiple games, right? There are people
Hmm.
who own an
Yeah.
Xbox to play FIFA and Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
And if
But it's.
But I agree with your point that you. I guess the problem is like if you are like a hardcore COD player, then like
Mhm.
in a sense you could keep playing one of them forever. But then the whole part of
You
it is your
can.
ranking and the number of concurrent players matters to you. I'm not saying it should, right? But
Yeah. 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 I know what you mean. Yeah.
like
But there's got to be a time where you got to stop drinking that Call of Duty Kool Aid, and it's like,
COD aid,
you know.
cool COD. Sorry.
It's I don't know. It Call of Duty as a whole is just a weird thing. It's been a weird thing for a while, because it's just such a juggernaut, and it's like I feel sorry for like the developers. To be clear, like it's like how do you keep iterating on something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know, and it doesn't seem to get like the scrutiny as much as something like, I don't know, FIFA. That's a yearly series, and it doesn't seem to get incrementally better like at all, and yet people still buy it and play it and just feed off it.
Yeah.
Mainly FIFA Ultimate Team. I don't know. Call of Duty is a weird thing. It's a weird thing. It's too big to fail. So even though this is like the worst rated one or worst reviewed one, which is insane to me because ghosts exist. It does it matter? No, it doesn't matter at all.
I mean,
in the
it
grand
does.
scheme of things.
It does. It does because investors read news articles.
Yes.
So I mean, again, if I'll just grab my phone now. I'm curious what this started happening on the 10th.
But I think that's just convenient excuse, probably.
No. What I mean is,
I'm just saying, people. Unfortunately, there'll be layoffs at Activision inevitably.
oh, but but that would have happened anyways. That you're right.
Yeah.
That part is an excuse. I'm curious as to if I just how come every time I start a computer, it has some stupid stock widget that I have to uninstall, but when I go on Google and Google Activision Blizzard stock, I can't actually get immediate results on the stock. It just gives me a whole bunch of places telling me how I could buy the stock for a price.
Oh,
it was
wait.
it was delisted after October 12th. Oh, because of the bio got it. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah,
they
so
don't even have a
that's
stock issue right now. There's no public value. This means
so
nothing.
That's like
The
exactly.
review bombing doesn't even have a like. So obviously your thought was like they'll lay off people with the excuse that it affects stock prices, but actually just because that's how they cyclically depress wages, because then you get hired back on the original wage and never get a raise, and also you have no job security, and it's the States, so it's even worse with respect to benefits. I was going to say, I bet that even like now, 6 days out from when they started review bombing, the stock price had already jumped back up because it doesn't matter. But they use the fact that these things dip to like justify some bullshit, right? But like,
yeah, always. But yeah, I'm just saying, in the scheme of almost everything, it doesn't. Like, what happens to that company? What happens to the people buying it and the players or whatever? None of it matters. It'll sell millions of copies.
oh, but will it
There'll
sell
be another one
more
next
than the
year.
last one sold? If not, everyone fails.
Yes, probably. You know what I mean? Yes, probably it will.
But
Maybe,
also, it's okay.
or if there's a dip, it'd probably be like
video game
within like
developers.
1%.
Hey, corporations, it's okay if you don't grow. It's fine.
It is.
The
okay.
world keeps
You don't need
turning.
exponential growth.
Exponential growth cannot continue to happen. It's not how the world works.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, but
70 years ago, people were successful. They ran a business that lasted 50 years in this town. It didn't take over another town. It's fine. That's success.
But yeah, so the
I just realized we had this really weird like Marxist ASMR podcast going for a second there.
That's how we make our millions. Yeah, that just throws an extra wrinkle into this, doesn't it? Like being owned by Microsoft. I think everyone will think, oh yeah, no, Call of Duty can afford to take a break. They could have afforded to take a break anytime, because that studio has a lot of money. Yes, the churn of making a new Call of Duty game, that is millions, but Activision has it.
It sure does.
Just through owning King. All those mobile games will fund a Call of Duty like within a week.
Once you dig into those things, it's like, oh shit. I don't think anyone realizes how much fucking money mobile games makes. But also, it's very awful given that like
a lot of it's predatory.
Yeah, the predatory dopamine cycling that those games give people in a way that Call of Duty can't, because Call of Duty lasts too long for the loop, right? unless you were, you know what? I'm surprised. So, have you ever been paintballing?
Yes, and I got hit like in the side, like my visor, like the side,
Oh, that sucks.
like,
Yeah.
and I was like, is there something wrong? Should it hurt this much? And
No.
after that round, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the car and turning the heating on, and that was it for Lucian
And then you baked
paintballing. I
yourself.
prefer I I prefer laser quest.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is one of the weird things about paintball that you aren't told is you buy a chunk of time or access to, but really, usually you buy a pass for the afternoon and then you can go in matches and out however you please. But you buy your rounds. And some places make you pay for CO2 and rounds. So if you buy too many rounds, and you run out of CO2, you have to buy more of that because which is a weird thought, but it makes sense because that's a physical limitation, and obviously, if you had unlimited rounds, you would just literally paint the walls red, right? But it's an odd thing to be like, oh, I can't afford to play anymore because the bullets are too expensive. And I just realized it's really strange that I'm so surprised at all the Predator mechanics that they don't have that. I'm sorry, you're playing Call of Duty, paintball edition. You have to pay for your bullets. I'm sorry,
that's too
you
on
didn't.
the nose.
Hmm?
I think that's too on the nose.
But I mean, it's literally a business model in the world.
I know, but
But
like,
yeah, I mean, people would be.
you get through a lot of bullets and gone.
I mean, to be honest,
But,
though, the gameplay would be really interesting in a game like that.
a roguelike Call of Duty.
Well,
There's like hardcore mode where you can shoot other teammates.
Well, I mean,
in
how do
the
they
back
do
and
this
stuff.
in first-person games? Is you pick up the ammo of the people you kill, and they.
Like Counter Strike. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got to buy your.
Buy your
weapon.
bullets at the beginning of the round using the money you earned on. But at least in Counter Strike, the whole point is like you're earning money
Oh yeah.
per session, right? But
Yeah.
I like the idea of like, oh, you know what? You start a session, you use a token to get into Call
Your
of Duty
Counter-Strike
Paintball, Call of Duty PB, and then you get to play as many maps as you want, so long as you have the bullets to last through the session.
You know what?
Because then everyone would
do that
just
if I could
turtle and
play-
hope to God they didn't have to shoot a
Nah.
bullet. And then it'd be like this weird hide and seek game where it's like, found you! Used a bullet! I win!
No, I'd play Rust. If I could just play
Yeah, that's
Rust
fair.
on end, yeah, I'd go into that monetary practice.
But,
I want them to have a Rust only weekend, where there's a playlist where you can just play Rust only. That's what's good about this one. Maybe it's been in previous ones, but you can select a playlist with all the different.
it's
types
definitely
of
been in previous ones. I've heard about it before, yeah.
Okay.
But, like, you can't... But
I'm
it's,
beyond.
they curate the playlist, right? You just can pick from multiple ones?
You can decide what type of match. So, say if you want to play, capture the flag or domination or kill confirmed or something, you can pick those specific modes. Say, like, I don't want to play team deathmatch at all. I can unselect that from the playlist, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
But you can't be
'cause I
like,
like
I want to
playing-
play Team Deathmatch, Rust.
no, you can't select the individual matches because everyone would just be on Rust and never leave. Apart from the hipsters who vote against it, I don't like those people. Because apparently they got rid of map voting at a certain point, and it's back in this one. I like that voting because.
But, like, does that
usually
mean...
people have
How does map voting work? Like, do you get a choice of
get
any map?
two maps. No, just two. And it's like, which one do you want to play? It's like,
No, I mean, that seems perfectly reasonable because then
Yeah.
if they had a problem with certain maps being underused, which also is such a strange concept when you think about it, like, no one likes this virtual environment I designed, so I'm going to make them play in it.
Like, Quarry should just be thrown out of existence forever. It's an awful map, and I
But where are they going to film Doctor Who?
happily. I don't know. Yeah, it's I think Microsoft buying them. I don't think they'll take a break.
I mean,
They have no
Microsoft
need
might
to.
help them deliver their content in a less fucking
I don't think so either.
slapshot. Yeah,
I
well,
mean, look at
they bought a thing
Microsoft
that is
games.
a machine that's running itself.
Look at Microsoft's output in the last 10 years. you know,
Yeah,
it's not been
they took their
exactly
product that
good.
was the world's best-selling software, and they made it as a software as a service that you have to pay a subscription for.
Which one's that?
Office 365.
Oh God, don't remind me of that. I can't stand it off. Anyway.
Now, how will I
Anyway.
make my little
But,
picture? How will I make tables for Word if I can't have Excel to copy paste into? Sorry.
Yeah.
Excel's great, to be clear.
Of course, yeah, it's amazing,
But most
yeah.
people use it as if it was a glorified table maker. Because they don't actually like put formulas in cells, they put text in cells or numbers in cells to track information that is easily collated in an array.
But
you don't need
it's
something like that. Anyway, it doesn't
but
matter. I'm
it's
not saying don't use Excel that way. I'm just saying it has other uses.
no, I refuse to believe that.
Well, I mean, if you were still running Excel
No, I
97, you could, at any point in time, play a flight simulator, because there was an Easter egg flight simulator built into Excel 97, which was my favorite Easter egg in any piece of software, because it was so ridiculously
nice.
completely divorced from the purpose of the thing.
Yeah, I love Excel. I'm
Yeah.
an Excel nerd. I have several little books on Excel. And Excel now, I was like, oh, you can just literally, create a data set, just like import like data into it and just make
It's a
it look
data
fine.
managing application. Spreadsheets are all
Oh,
about
I know, but
manipulating
it's
data.
like it's
But,
like you can
yeah.
just. I never knew you could just like
Oh yeah, so like the data. So one of the big things in like I think it was Excel 2000 was the ability
ingest
to import
it from like
data from websites, right?
yeah,
And you could
yeah.
have a live link. So if that, I think in the original version you had to tell it to go fetch again.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't obviously using bandwidth because at the time that was a lot. But you could be like, oh, update. Has anything changed on this website? And it'd be like, oh yeah, everything, including the structure. Now the links you made is broken. Sorry, but like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've only really used things from like that are already within Excel, that environment. But
Oh yeah,
I like Excel.
It's stupid stuff like being able to filter data or pivot tables.
Yeah,
At the very least,
had
even
fun
if
with those.
it
Had fun with macros. I love macros.
yeah, but it's really strange when you see like when people use it just as in tracking the information in an array, like oh these are the students and their supervisor, etc.
No, but
And then you
I think it's great for that.
and
It's
then
great
you
for
just
that.
do a simple sort. And people are like, what did you just do? I'm
I
like,
know,
well,
yeah.
because I want to know all of the people assigned to me, and someone's just inputted them randomly as they came in, so they're out of order. So I just ordered them all, and they're like, you're a wizard. I'm like, this is
I know,
the most
yeah.
basic thing Excel can do.
But people literally don't have that computer literacy.
But
So
they
many
say,
people.
Lucy, they say
So
on
many
their
people.
CV that they're proficient in MS Office.
Yeah, they are for the literally 99% jobs that
No, I'm just joking.
only want you to be able to save.
I just love the
the
idea that
spreadsheet, your
proficiency in
document.
MS Office. If you were proficient in all four, what are the four pillars? PowerPoint, Word, Excel.
Word.
Oh, it's because Access doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say.
When I was in the IT world hiring and looking for a job, Access was technically part of the Office suite, and it's like, I don't think you fucking open that thing because no one does.
I never did.
Well,
No.
it was.
I always put it on my CV, but I never
But
used
MS
it.
Access was more powerful than Excel, but still a crappy DB. So as soon as you learned about databases, you're like, nope, I'm gonna go to even MS. Like there's just better products out there, right? But like SQL was open source, way more powerful and less unstable than Access. But there was just like 5 to 10 year period around the turn of the millennium
around the turn of the millennium when we didn't all have access to SQL, and so we had to use Access, and it was local, and it could get corrupted, but we liked it because it was stronger than Excel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking. I feel so old. MS Access. I was speaking semi-fondly about the existence of it. It's bad. I had to support it for a while when I worked for a university tech support. And the answer was always, we should put you in contact with this team who will help you migrate off of that and put you on one of the many online, always accessible databases we have as a service to anyone who works here.
Yeah. But yeah, as I say, like, I mean, not now anymore with kids growing up now, but like, you know, there was a computer at like my primary
but kids
school,
don't know how to
I
use
mean?
anything,
It's
right?
Mm.
We've talked about so I've got a couple friends who teach junior high and stuff, middle school, year 7 through 8, through 9, 10ish, something like that. And if you grew up, kids these days grew up with iPads and things where there's literally you're blocked off from looking at the operating system, but also there's like bespoke apps for almost everything, and actually things like Diane teaches the 8th grade, and they were so shocked at her showing them how to make bulleted and numbered lists on
That's
Word
true. That's
because
true.
they've never been
Yeah.
taught anything because their idiot parents and the parents of those people who are in government are like, well, these kids grew up with computers. Like, yeah, but growing up with computers doesn't mean you're trained on them. And when the fuck would you who? There's so many apps right now. Who would sit and fuck around with Word and be like, did you know you can make a bulleted list? I did, because Word was basically a new game at the time because it was a thing I could play with, and there were 7
Microsoft
things.
Paint. Yeah.
Right? And it's like, but you have to.
That's true. That's
this
true,
is a
'cause
skill
my
set
sister-
that you have to
Yeah.
And people of our generation, right? We learned to tinker with computers because computers needed tinkering. An iPad don't need tinkering, so you don't even have the
You
Explorer.
can't.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
Can't
so
tinker.
we had to tinker to make it work, but that meant that we approach software in the exploring functionality way.
Yes.
And
You
there
would
was an
look
assumption
at code
that
and
people
be like, oh, how do I change this?
Yeah, and so there's this assumption that, well, if you grew up with computers, you will have learned how to poke at them. But actually, we made computers so usable. If you grew up with computers, you've learned that they just do these things.
Exactly. Yeah, and
And that's why I'll never hire a Zoomer.
yeah, and that. I mean, I agree, but
Zoomers are like 23 or something now. I don't know what's the
don't know.
minimum Zoomer age? Anyway, you were saying
they
if I
can't
get
be
interrupted.
23. They can't be, because that doesn't. They can't be, surely. Yeah, because my sister, works at the library and, sees a lot of kids, and yeah, they don't know how to even turn on a computer, a real computer. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird, but then maybe they do still need people like me who can.
Oh,
do
definitely.
an if statement in Excel. Maybe I'm not obsolete yet.
We definitely, yeah. Yeah, so I'm an elder millennial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the millennials were in the 1981 to 96, 97-ish range.
Okay.
So 97 to 2012 is Zoomers,
So
which
what's
means
the
they could
youngest
be
Zoomer,
as
21?
old as 25, 26.
No.
Yeah.
What year are we in?
2023, 24 in a month and a half, right?
So the oldest they can be, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you said the youngest then. I was
No.
Heart attack. I was like, are we in 2030 something? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, so like 2024 minus 1997 is 27. So in a month and a half, a Zoomer could be someone who is 27 is a Zoomer, right? Like that. Those are close.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
27. All right,
Yeah,
so that means
clue.
yeah, but like all my students are Zoomers, right? They're the ones with the tablets
Yeah.
and who don't understand how paper work anymore, right?
What is this? Might as well just be working on slate.
Why does this stylus make permanent marks on this weird piece of dead tree? And then no matter how much I slide my finger across the dead tree, it stays on the same page, except when it accidentally moves that piece of dead tree, and then another piece of dead tree appears beneath it.
I like that. Dead tree. Yeah, and they're gonna get angry about the dead trees because it's like they're the ones who are gonna be dealing with the death of the earth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why the fuck do you keep giving me things on dead tree? If we didn't kill the tree for this thing, it could be converting carbon dioxide to oxygen.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's because you said, oh, it makes me think better. That's why I use dead tree, and they're gonna be like, that's not a good enough excuse.
Look, it turns out I can't remember things unless I write it on a fucking piece of dead organic material. I needed something to die in order for me to remember, okay? Oh dear. God, that makes me feel bad about writing on paper. Look, my life is just easier, guys. If I could just write on a dead thing, if something didn't die, my brain doesn't work the same. Our generation deserves to die.
We're living in strange times, aren't we?
Humans are the weirdest.
Yeah, and that's why it's nice going back to Call of Duty in 2009. 19-year-old Lucy having fun, so.
Oh yeah, we were. You know what I love about our episodes is not just that we're okay with going off track, but just the places we go.
Humors these days. Oh look, I don't have to write on a dead thing, and I can remember something. I'm so fancy. I'm 20-something.
Oh god, that means in 2 years. There'll be millennials will be olds, fully olds. Right now there's like 7. There's 7 people who are millennials in their 20s. And they're aging.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of
it's just but it's like the gap just gets bigger, like exponentially bigger. With just like technology grows exponentially. The gap. Like I feel like much more in common with like my parents' generation than I do with even people who are like 20. You know, like
well, it's interesting because like we bridge the millennial gap quite a lot. So like I remember getting the internet.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember like not many people
Y2K.
having it. And I remember that. I also remember the idea of like handing in a typed or printed on fucking dot matrix because I had
yeah
like I remember that all that shit, and it's like none of this like the trying to like ripping those stupid sides. I was a clumsy ADHD kid. I would never have the clean rip because I would do it too quickly and it would cut into the page, and then I would lose marks for presentation.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Because you ripped the paper.
Yeah, because it's ripped paper.
But it's
print it again,
impossible not to
motherfucker.
rip.
That's what she said. Literally, no.
But then
when I grew up, my teacher swore at me.
Now they have safeguarding.
Yeah. Now the kids these days are too soft. They don't. You can't call them motherfuckers. What's wrong with it? God, I am a podcaster. Look at my beard.
We got the cane. We got the cane back when I was at school.
Yeah. Now they get the sugar cane. I won't even get that because of fucking health and safety.
Yeah, because of Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, fucking
no
Jamie
sugar
Oliver.
allowed. Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't realise that, oh yeah, when printing, that ka-chunk, it used to take so long.
But also...
And that's if you had the liberties of even having a printer.
Yeah, I remember when we got our first printer after we got our first computer, and my parents kind of bought one when they realized that there's not much like we could do with the printer without a printer, right?
Yeah.
But like I also because I'm old,
emailing was not a thing back then.
I can reach it over here. Oops. And what do you think this is?
Oh. Look at that handle.
Sorry, podcast listeners are doubly screwed because they're hearing me hit the mic with the thing and not seeing me hold the thing. It's a travel typewriter. It's heavy as balls, and you would never want to travel with it. But it's a travel typewriter.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you there have been moments in my life in the past 5 years that I need a tactile, approach to things.
You've gone from mechanical keyboard to real.
Oh no, I've had this.
Keyboard.
I have had this since I lived in Calgary. I actually took this in one of my trips to Amsterdam. From at Christmas, I basically was like, put this in my bag, and now this is like half my luggage allowance because it's so fucking heavy. Shit.
Has it? Did you drop it?
Yeah, but it's fine. It's in a case.
Have you?
Ow.
Have you?
It's because I cut my finger the other
any...
day, and so it turns out putting all the weight on that part of my finger made me go, ow. But anyway, how do I what?
Have you ever had any issues with it where you needed to get it repaired or anything?
Oh yeah, but I'm a tinkerer, so YouTube exists, so I've done maintenance on this. I mean, you can still on Amazon you can get the right type of ribbon, and then I mean, it turns out there's some stuff like sticking keys that is a pain in the ass, but it's the wonders of purely mechanical systems, right? Oil in the right place, replace a spring if you have to, but like that's a thing you can do.
Because I know it's quite common that people like restore them and, keep them going.
And then sell them on Etsy.
So. No, I think it's just like, you could probably find like a, little vintage shop.
Oh yeah, so like if I ever had a problem with it, I'm sure I could like hop on a train to Newcastle or London and
you'd
take
find
it into
one
a shop
for sure. Yeah.
Find it, yeah.
They're not as
My finger really hurts. That sucks.
Shall we wrap it there?
Yeah. Yeah, when you start dropping typewriters because of your previously cut finger, you're maybe they're no longer talking about beer and video games. Hi, everyone. This is the Tanked Up, the podcast about bitching about youth, loving spreadsheets, and dropping typewriters.
I think we should call this the
Oh, and there's a cat.
The Moleskine episode.
Oh, it's too bad I didn't have a tool, because then we could have like a tool scheme. It's got to be some analog something, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Call of Duty analog warfare.
I like that. It's no longer advanced.
Yeah, I mean, it's also true, because it's just the shit from 15 years ago.
Yeah, literally, it's been that long, hasn't it? Wow.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying don't use maps that you know work, but also reusing work from 15 years ago is... Although actually I've literally been thinking about writing a paper that's based on the stuff I did in my master's, which is technically reusing work I did 15 years ago. You know what, Activision? You're doing great.
Yeah. Keep it up. Just remake Black Ops next year. And keep it going.
Have they not rebooted Black Ops yet? No, they just did Blops 1, 2, 3.
They made a fourth one, apparently.
And Blops A Very Merry Christmas, right? That was a little...
National Lampoon's Call of Duty Black Ops.
Call of Duty, yeah.
Yeah. Just remake the Black Ops maps again. Although I could just go back to Call of Duty.
So one of the things that's interesting is, as a PC gamer, I have some of these, and
all right,
I could just install Blops. I think. I don't know if anyone's playing. I'm sure there's like seven guys, the last millennials, 20 millennials in their 20s. That was the millennials. The callback. The Call of Duty back. The callback of duty. That's the one. The callback of duty. Sorry. You're trying to say a thing, and you even tried to get us to wrap this up like 10 minutes ago, but continue.
No, you keep cycling through titles, because Ben will probably not want to listen or edit this one anyway.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm editing this one, so this is all staying in.
Enjoy. But they did patch the servers for a lot of the old Call of Duty games, like couple months ago, and then like Black Ops was populated with quite a lot of people, so could just go play that. I mean, got more jank, but jank is good. Jank is fun. So, yeah, but anyway, I'll talk about this game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I still don't think I'll ever understand what the hell is going on in this game and where it sits in the canon and all this and that.
Oh, you
but,
mean the meta, like the yeah, but you know what? You don't need to. You shouldn't need to know all that crap. All you need to know
No.
is it fun to pretend to be a tree and shoot Nicki Minaj? That's what I've got from.
I have no words to even answer that.
But that's according to your reports.
I'm laughing.
and
I'm laughing at the game. I don't know if it's because it's good or if it's bad, or
Are you
if
having
it's just
fun?
because I'm like, why is Skeletor here?
Is it
Why
actually Skeletor or is it
Why
like
is
a
Rambo?
skeleton?
I'm pretty sure it's Rambo, and yeah, it's definitely Skeletor. He's bright purple, so it's just
Oh,
like,
dang. You know,
I don't understand
can
this
I
game.
do-
I don't understand anything about Call of Duty anymore, and that's okay. If you're coming from it from a purely apathetic standpoint, you're gonna have fun if you've
Yeah.
ever liked Call of Duty. So it's not people with space jumping boots or anything like that, or and
yeah, a
it's not
Skeletor can
old-timey
only jump
war
once.
weapons. Yeah, it's fast paced. It's what I like. It's like just hectic fun. People dying over and over and over,
Oh, it's-
respawning in terrible places, and it's fun. You
That's
know?
what I want to hear. That's my kind of video game.
It reminds me of
I
early
mean,
multiplayer games where it's just like there are no rules.
the reason
and
I quit
nothing's
paintball is because I played paintball like I played Team FPS, which is fuck it. I'm just gonna charge and die and respawn.
Yeah.
And sometimes
do
that
in this
means
game.
I get up and die, and sometimes that means people are like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" and then shoot me. And then sometimes they're like, "What the fuck is the guy doing?" and then I kill them.
Yeah.
Right?
Loose cannon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kamikaze.
It's
That's me. And that's
me
why
as well.
I top the
The
leaderboard
problem
every
is in
time.
paintball, it's very bruise-inducing. That's why I don't play paintball.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not talking about real life.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the game.
But yeah,
In real life, I'd be cowering in a corner.
yeah, as you should
I'd be shot in. I'd get shot for being a coward in like
No.
World War One or something.
You,
like
you
that,
would
so
just
yeah.
realize that the best use of your bullets are donating it to the idiots who keep killing themselves afterwards.
Yeah. Didn't this game come out like? No, it didn't come out on like Remembrance Weekend. 'Cause
It
that would've
did.
been awkward.
November 10th.
Is that when it came out?
That's when it stopped being early access. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
At least it didn't do
Duty's
something
weird.
super tasteless like have like a poppy skin, where it's the default operator, but they've got a poppy and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, this has made
So
me sad.
bizarre.
I'm so sad I said that because that's such a thing that could happen. Anyway, we were trying to wrap up.
Yeah. We'll talk
um,
about Call of Duty
How,
again.
how
Like,
was your beer in the end?
I'd probably say pretty much the same as last time, as from the beginning. My comments, very bitter, very malty. It's okay. It's not Track's best. Maybe this was it looked like it was, one of a, maybe a one-off kind of thing. Brewed, donated by Manchester Hop Project, the hops were. So I think it was just them trying something, which we should be doing because, English hops are good. Like, I like Fuggles. I like those kind of like traditional English hops, and we don't use enough of them. And when they're used to good effect, they have amazing taste. Like, I was in Burning Soul last week, and he brewed a beer based on like a recipe from the 1800s or something like that.
Right.
And it turned out great. It was like you're getting that very traditional, like, kind of what you classify as a traditional, pub cask ale taste that is very hard to recreate unless you're in those kind of like conditions and environments. But it tasted like that, but with a modern kind of twist in it, maybe a bit more, probably adding more hops to it, or just a hell of a lot of those kinds of hops. But yeah, it's just it's like, we should be using those hops more, especially with the death of the universe and the planet and everything like that.
Oh, the
Climate
universe is
change
fine.
and Brexit and everything like that. So
In fact, the
Yeah,
universe
but
is the level where everything's okay. It's just the Earth and below. It's just where humans are. Humans saturate. Human saturation is where things are problematic.
saturated human fats.
Mm.
Yeah, I think this is just probably them experimenting.
Mm.
Decent enough job, but it's palatable. But probably want more of what they do best, which is like IPAs, double IPAs.
Right. Yeah, for
I was
me,
the
so
what was
off
it, off
axis,
axis?
I was given 3 beers by them. I can't
Mm-hmm.
guarantee. I probably won't do all 3 on the podcast, but I might save one of the other ones just to see, just because this was one. I will say 6.2%. Couldn't tell. In fact, would assume 4ish because it was so kind
Oh
of
wow.
light and smooth, and although it was
Mm-hmm.
sweet, it wasn't alcohol sweet. Um, I think there's a grapiness that came out over with the citrus that I didn't immediately notice. But really, it was like kind of what I said. This citrus sweetness, which is like past. Yeah, so it's the aroma or the perfume of like a mandarin, and then with a little bit of tropical, maybe mango.
Mm-hmm.
But again, mostly you want to think of being in a room full of them rather than eating them, right? So you don't have that
Mm-hmm.
rich body of
Yeah,
either the
yeah.
tropical fruit or the citrus, right? But it definitely tastes like them. But there just wasn't enough. Like I kind of would want something like a piney undertone or something on the other end to kind of group, because I think there's a lot of hoppiness going on that I'm not like picking up on just because those were primarily there, and the other hoppy notes were of the same like spectrum, so they were just getting
Mm-hmm.
overshadowed. So, like I said, I noticed a bit more of a grapey, kind of winey, grapey taste because I was like, "Oh, this is the end. Let me pay attention." But it's
Mm-hmm.
still in the same sense of it's that like if I put my face near grapes in the same way if I put my face near the mandarin, and I wasn't getting any like differential. So it doesn't make me think off axis is like a brewery I wouldn't go back to by any means, but it's like they're clearly trying a thing. Something interesting happened. It was just a bit not one note, but several notes of the
Hmm.
same type.
I think you've eloquently described that because I can absolutely imagine
Mm.
what that tastes like.
And so
With
I'm curious
mouthful of
what.
bitter.
Yeah, so I've got a couple other beers for theirs. So I'll probably have one of them on the weekend, and if it was interesting enough, I might next week or the week after save the third to talk
Yeah.
about them to give off
Mm.
access, kind of like a. Because again, I think that I don't think Ben's also had anything by them, so it'd be yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm always happy to talk about a brewery might not be as well
Mm.
known, but yeah, overall,
C plus. C plus for both of us.
yeah,
It's a C
that's
plus week. Mm.
C plus all of duty. Modern analog warfare. There we go. C plus all of duty analog warfare. We got it. Yeah. This is why Ben took over editing.
This is why we need Ben. Ben,
Yeah,
come back.
miss you, Ben. But yeah, speaking of Ben, if people missed him and or want more or less of these Aadil and Lucy episodes, you should tell us over at Tanked Up Cast or email us at tankedupcast@gmail.com or follow us on. I don't even know what social medias we're supposed to talk about. We're on Instagram and as at Tanked Up Cast. Tanked Up
Yes,
Cast,
tanked
yeah.
up cast. Yeah.
Which means we're on Threads as well. We're on X/Twitter. God knows for how long.
Yeah.
You can reach me at the Omniarch, but if people want to reach you, Lucy, where do they go to?
Juicy Loose 9, which is also juicyloose9.substack.com.
I was just gonna ask. And you've written a couple extra articles this week, right? What were they on?
Yeah, one was on Air Twister, which was the Yu Suzuki space area game that we talked about last week, and the other one was on a game very under the radar called Lapin, which is French for rabbit,
Mm-hmm.
which is a precision platformer which just left Game Pass recently, so you're out of luck if you were looking to play it on there. But very much Super Meat Boy, Celeste-like kind of.
Ooh, is it more Celeste or more Meat Boy? Or do you
Well, I
make
don't
a
like
difference?
Meat Boy, so I'd say it's more Meat Boy.
Okay. Because so
Uh,
there was a time where I played a bunch of Meat Boy and then I stopped
Mhm.
when I got frustrated and never wanted to go back. There was a
Mm.
time where I played a lot of Celeste and got frustrated and I came back. That's how I
Yeah.
describe they've got very similar playstyles, but the presentation of those
Mhm.
playstyles, one is encouraging. Maybe if you're frustrated, just take a break, and the other one is,
Mhm.
are you gonna take a break, mate? Fuck
Yeah,
off.
yeah. Very different approaches
Yeah.
to difficulty in them. Yeah, it's look-wise, it's more like Celeste, I'd say, but it's not as polished or nearly as good. So,
Okay. No,
but it's
I mean
okay.
Celeste
It's,
was a
it's decent.
yeah,
There's some good platforming in it now and then.
nice,
But yeah.
cool.
Just follow me there.
Sounds great. Yeah, I think that's all the things. You'll catch us on Twitch. If we haven't said this in a while, we do this live, and there are lurkers. Hello, lurkers. Um, you can catch us live and see just how edited it really is. Um, over on twitch.tv/Advertise Network every Thursday at 8:30, whatever standard British time is at the time. Because are we GMT right now?
GMT, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
and then we're Chat GPT in the summers.
Yay!
Sorry. Yeah.
We did it.
We got it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Bye.
Stop.
I like that. Follow us here, follow us there. Come hang out with us. F off.
www.outoflives.net